What's up, folks? Episode 9 of the Come Up VideoShow. First of all, before we begin this episode, I want to extend my condolences and prayers to the families being affected to the current fires throughout California, especially of my hometown of Salinas, California. There's currently 3 fires being affected in Monterey County, and I just want to give my love to the first responders, the people who are out there working on these fires in order to keep people safe. So it's tough, weird times in this, with this pandemic. It's either one thing or another, but I feel like if we stick as one, then I think we're powerful. But I'm excited to do another episode 8. The inflammation of my wisdom team is kind of going down. I feel better. I feel like I feel like I can finally talk. But today we have another guest from Salinas, California. We have Sammy Garcia, who's based in Salinas, California, and he's a portrait street fashion photographer. Photography has been his form of art to express his creativity and taking the unusual into perfection. His goal is pushing towards either working for clothing companies or even start his own line. So let's talk to Sammy to see what he's up to during this, like I said, weird times. Let's bring him on in. Let's see. What's up, Sam? How you doing, bro?
Good. And yourself, dude?
Doing good, man. Just trying to get through these weird times, man.
Tell me about it.
Weird
2020 is
times.
a weird time. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Tell us how's the family?
Cool. Everyone's just chilling, trying to survive, but we're all
Yeah.
good. Here we go. Yeah.
What are you doing to stay busy during these weird times?
Well, just work really, and then we can't really shoot because COVID thing and stuff. So it's hard
Right.
to be creative during this whole pandemic.
Talk to us about that. I mean, say like if COVID wasn't a thing, COVID is out of the equation. What would you be? What do you see? What would you be doing right now within your art?
Just coming up with photo shoots. I was trying to really hit 2020 hard because 2019 I was kind of recovering from some stuff. And I wasn't really shooting as much, and I wanted to go running and gunning on 2020 and try some new stuff, new styles of photography, and experiment with like landscapes, portraits, studio, film, and then COVID hit, and it just went all downhill.
Yeah, I agree. What's your favorite type of style of shooting?
Portraits and just some like street fashion.
Yeah.
I like that grungy stuff, you know.
When you're photographing, when you get these models, do you have an idea set in mind, or just you let the model have that choice of freedom of to wear whatever they
Yeah.
like?
Well, what I usually do is just kind of have I kind of collab with the model, so we both have an idea coming in because I like every shoot. I want it to be a collaborative process, not just one-sided. Because at the same time, I like to be collaborative because the model could bring in like a little style of a style or even a taste in colors or location or dress or how they dress and stuff like that. So two minds have to think alike for something good to come out. So that's how I usually approach all my photo shoots. Sometimes it's a spontaneous shoot. Sure, there's not a plan to it, but sometimes the spontaneous shoots come out better than planned shoots. So
I was gonna ask you on that, dude. Yeah, I mean, you pretty much hit it right in the head. Do you think those spontaneous work better? Because like, there's not a specific plan. There's not like, well, I need to do this. I need this occasion. And I feel the same way too. When it's spontaneous, dude, like it's all free fall. Like there's no mistakes. There's nothing wrong.
Yeah, what I feel like with spontaneous shoot is like the creative juice is right. It's happening now, and you're not giving it time to wear off. So when the spontaneous is just cranking out like there's no tomorrow. So spontaneous ones are probably the best ones, but planned shoots are still good too. But I think spontaneous shoots always like you kind of come out with the best work that you have.
All right, let's talk to let's remember a little bit back to when you first had a camera in hand. How did you feel, and why did you have a camera, and what did you think of photography moving forward?
So as a kid, my dad always had he had a VHS tape, and every time we'd go on like family trips to Mexico or like to Six Flags and stuff, we would record, and I'd always ask him, is it cool if I record and stuff, or like even the disposable Fuji cameras, like I would take pictures and stuff like that. I didn't really find like the passion to it until like high school because I actually started seeing what you were doing. I saw your work and it inspired me to start photography
Yeah,
because
appreciate that.
you're cranking out a lot of great work, and I was like, I really want to try and see if this is something that I like. And I started with the point and shoot Canon camera. It was an SX 950,
Mm-hmm.
just a nice simple point and shoot, and started like shooting friends, families. I'd go out to Monterey, just take pictures left and right, and from there, like I started like finding passion for it because I felt like there was no limit to what I can do. So little by little, I started saving up, and then I got my Rebel 6 as my first like professional camera, and then from there I moved to the Fuji, and now then from there, my buddy Hire he's from Fresno. He introduced me to film to 35 millimeter. So then I got my 35 what is it, an Olympus,
Okay.
and then from there just been haven't really touched nothing new. I've been trying to get into medium format, but I mean those cameras are very expensive, so it's hard to test that out right now.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
with your work, are you very experimental with what you do and how you approach it? What's
Yeah, I like to just be unique. I don't like to do the candy stuff. Like I like to think outside of the box. Like for me, my motivation original, it still is to take locations or spots that normal people wouldn't use. Like me, I'd go behind the store and see if I see a trash, like a big trash can with graffiti behind. That's a spot. No one's gonna find that. Or like one time I went to Winter Schnitzel's and I liked the color of the windows of the building,
Mhm.
and I went to the back in the parking lot and just did a photo shoot right there. And so I always try to think outside the box and not to do stuff that's too
Okay.
candid. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, what did you like better? Do you like doing film or do you like doing digital? Or do you think they're both
It's in be
equal to you?
it's in between because with film it's like when you shoot you don't even you get that adrenaline of did it come out good. I have to like take it to the dark room and see if it
Hmm.
came out or not. Digital it's too because I like digital as well because it's like it's more like right there and like how do I explain it? It's um dang I lost my train of thought.
No
It's
worries.
like how do I say it? Like I like digital as much as film because I mean with film you have more chances of mistakes, but I mean you could correct that if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Yeah, I lost the train of thought right there, but yeah.
With the two different formats, film and digital, are you able to approach each like I said formats with a different style, or do you like to use the same style for both film and digital?
Well, I try to, but since for me when I go digital, I tend to have the model move around a lot. But since film you can't really do that. It's more like stay still, make sure you don't blink or
Mm.
do too much subtle movement because then there goes the shot.
Right.
So it's two different approaches, but like ideal wise, it's kind of the same thing.
Okay. Color or black and white film? What do you think?
I think it just depends on the shoot,
Yeah.
because like black and white goes good like if you're doing like something dramatic or cinematic, or even like what you do like street photography.
Hmm.
But I mean, it just depends on the scenario of the shoot.
Okay. What do you enjoy most about photography lately? What it's been like the creative process? Is it being in scene and shooting, or is it the post production and people seeing your work? What's the most funnest aspect of photography for you?
I, for me, I think it's both because even when you're shooting on scene, you get the people that are curious, like, oh, like, what is he doing? Like, what kind of camera he's doing? Like, I'm curious with how his work looks, and then post is like, this is what I took and what I can create out of what I out of the shooting I did. So it goes hand in hand.
Hmm. And do you like to mostly publish work online, or how do you present your work?
Mostly publish it through Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much where I go through. I've been trying to like start up a website, but I mean, just haven't had the time to
Okay.
start a portfolio like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And have you ever thought about showing work in galleries, or for now, just online is the way to go for you?
there was a show back in September. There was like
Okay, yeah, I remember that. I think so.
a gallery show
Hmm.
in Monterey. That's the one time I just did straight film and I presented it. A lot of people were liked it, even though I was still new at the time to film.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's the one time I've gone to a gallery show.
Yeah, tell us about that. How was that experience and the
It was pretty.
process?
It was pretty interesting. I think the hardest part was picking the five pictures to present because it was like, you're going like you're with, art paint, like people that paint, people that do like abstract or they freaking mold or like they
Hmm.
do like pottery and stuff like that. So like going against them. But I mean at the end of the day it's not a competition, but it's just you want to present your best work and you know. But it was an interesting experience because I never knew the Monterey County area had a lot of like creative people. Like it was
Hmm.
like my first like social experience of seeing and like hearing people's creative process, and it was a big mind blown like of just seeing that, just being around a lot of people that are creative. Like me, like I'm kind of antisocial, so I don't really talk to that many people. But just being around a creative space when people are creative, it's a big mind blow.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, dude. There's a lot of artists and creative people within Monterey County, and it's beautiful to have all these stories and people with different backgrounds come into one space in order for them to talk about their work. How was it for you talking about your work? Did you find it difficult trying to explain the process of those photographs, or was it different for you?
Um, I think it was a little hard to explain because I mean, it's the first time like actually talking about what like same question that I would get is like, what made you take these pictures? Like, I don't
Hmm.
really know how to explain that. I just like envisioned it,
Right.
and then I stopped from there and like I don't really know how to explain how my taking picture process happens.
Hmm.
I think that's only a difficult part was explaining why this specific picture was why I took it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, dude. I remember when I first had my first show, it was in San Francisco, and it was just like, how do you talk to strangers about your
Yeah,
work? It's like,
yeah,
it makes sense to you, but to them, it's like, well, why did you take that picture? So,
yeah.
do you see
Mhm.
yourself post COVID-19? Where do you see yourself with your work?
I still what I planned in 2020 was run and gun, go to more shows, go start like looking around art galleries, like just do more collaborative work, because I
Hmm.
think you get more creative juice from being around that space.
Hmm.
So post COVID, I'm gonna pretty much just start experimenting a lot on different type of photography. A lot of traveling too as well because I mean travel obviously travel pictures are probably the best as well.
Hmm.
So we're going to start experimenting a little more.
Okay. If it wasn't for photography, what do you think would be your other hobby that you'd probably be doing?
I think it'd be
Mm.
YouTube or gaming, one of the two. Yeah, because I mean, I kind of do that already on the side, but photography is kind of like the number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's been the hardest part for through photography? The hardest aspect that you find yourself, struggling with this art form?
I think I'm like my number one critic. Like I'll look at my old stuff and be like, that was garbage, or like even
Hmm.
recent stuff, I'll be like, I could have done better. It's just being my own critic is probably the hardest part. Yeah.
And do you show your friends and family your work, or is it something that
Yeah.
you mostly keep it to yourself and show on web?
No, like all my family, like no, like they follow me on Instagram. They see my work. I mean, I don't really want to hide it because I mean, there's really nothing to hide. It's not like I'm doing anything crazy.
Right.
So I mean, I like to show people my work. Like even like when I'm at work, um, people don't see me as a photographer, and
Hmm.
that's like I kind of like that feeling. Is like like people can't guess what you do outside of work. And when I tell them, oh look, I'm a photographer, and they see my work, they're like, oh, I would have never thought you're like that talented and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah. I mean,
I
I'm all right, but yeah,
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's like you keep those two identities aside. It's
different.
like
Hmm.
at work you could be this type of personality, and then at home you could be yourself and do your own
Hmm.
thing, blah blah blah.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you guys pushing? What are your biggest goals through photography? What's like, say, like if you had the resources, you had
Hmm.
the right people online with you, you had everything set up. What would you like to accomplish?
Well, for me, three things would be, first would be, I would love to be an artist, personal photographer,
Mm-hmm.
like a music artist, a personal photographer, or if not that, work for clothing companies, and if not, start my own clothing brand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think those would be my three main goals.
Tell us about that clothing brand. I'm in the process of doing it right now too, man. I'm in the process of having my shirts. I mean, my photographs and shirts, and
Yeah.
it's tough doing clothing,
Hmm.
man. But tell us about your concept with the clothing line.
So for me, it's like, I'm not a crazy high beast person, but I see like what's trendy, and like I'm not the biggest fashion person. Like I can't tell you how like I'm the greatest dressed, but I could dress somebody. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I already have visions of what kind of t-shirts I want to do, like stuff like like a normal day-to-day wear type shirts. Nothing too crazy or flashy, but that's what I'm kind of looking at. I'm still on the process of like logos and stuff like that. It does take time, because I'm, like I said, I'm my own critic, so it takes a minute for me to finally come to one decision of what I like, and
Yeah,
hopefully when I show it to people, they're gonna like it too.
yeah, yeah. No, it's. I agree with you, dude. I'm in the same boat. I'm not a hypebeast person, but like I feel like people know what's good and what's not.
Yeah.
What's up? What do you tend to do with this clothing line? Are you also gonna try to add your work on shirts, or is this mostly like a new collection every fall, and then with designs and whatnot? Or how are you gonna go about
Um,
that?
I think I would do like certain pieces would be like photography, but I wouldn't do like models. I think it would be more of like landscape and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But for shirts as well, as just be like, I want to like I want to collab with people, so it's like more than one artist just doing the design. So it's kind of a collaborative piece, and it's just two minds, making one great piece.
Okay. And who are your influencers? It doesn't have to be a
Well,
photographer. It could be just anybody. It could be a family member. Who are your influencers in the way you create your work?
I think it's mostly photographers and music artists that influence me. Like for photographers, like Gunna Stahl, like he's a film photographer. Peter McKinnon, he's a landscape
He's
photographer.
he's amazing, man.
Yeah. And then music wise, Travis Scott, freaking The Weeknd, Don Toliver, all those guys. Like it's it. I tend to get inspiration from little things, but I mean, they come long ways because you take a little piece from people that you like, and then you make it your piece of kind of their work. So it's kind of like a collaborative, even though you don't personally know them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a collaborative piece once you bring aspects of people's work into your work or inspiration.
Yeah, no, I agree too. Of getting inspiration from artists, like when you're on the radio, you're on the road, and then I mean when you're on the road and you're listening to the radio and you hear that weekend song, that Bad
Yeah.
Bunny song, you're like, damn,
Yeah.
yeah, that's hype.
Hmm.
I fuck with
Yeah.
that. When people see your work, what do you want people to what do you want people to grasp about? What do you want them to hold into their memory when they see a piece of yours?
I think just the style of photography, because it's how I've been like looking at it lately. Is like it's like the car culture. When you have a certain car, like your car looks a certain way, people know it's you. So that's why I tend to stay strictly
Mm-hmm.
like the colors of my work. I try to stay in that range. So when people see my pictures, like, oh, that's Sam's work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I want. Is just like my work's gonna like I want my work to be easily rememberable, but it's unique to me, and it's not, oh, he copied him or her, or.
How do you think you make your work unique? Because I mean, obviously, nothing is original nowadays. But
Hmm.
when you create your work, what is something different that you do that people could pick up on?
Like I said earlier, like locations, like I try not to do nothing candid. I try to do more movements, more natural laughs, or just like color editing is just I try to stay punchy with my colors, but with some dark tones. It's just different little aspects, but like I said, I don't try to do anything candid. So I try to stay in a style where I'm not looking similar to anybody else, because I know like that's the like probably like the worst thing. Not the worst thing, but you don't want to fall into that trend where you're doing what everybody else is doing and you're not really like. standing out from the group.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, man. Well, thanks so much for coming for the podcast. I appreciate you. I feel like we have got some great topping points. Is there anything you wanted to let people know about you or the things that you're working on?
Well, right now, just just trying to get over COVID, and then from
Get
there,
over COVID, man.
we'll start rocking and rolling.
Stay healthy. All right, man. Just to end up
You too.
the show, I'm gonna ask you some quick fire questions just to end up
Okay.
on a positive note. What's your favorite
All right.
color?
Black.
All right. Favorite shoe.
Nike.
Favorite food.
Japanese.
All right. Least favorite food.
Ooh, I'd have to say spicy food.
All right. In 3 words, I would describe you.
Goofy, creative, and fluffy.
Fluffy, I like that. That's great, man. Thanks so much, Sammy, for coming on for the show.
All right,
Thank
thank
you
you
for
for
taking
inviting
the
me.
time today. Where could people find your work?
Instagram at your boss from work, and then youtube.com/Sammy Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Awesome, man. We'll provide people with those links up in the description box on YouTube. So you check out your work. And like I said, bro, thank you so much. Stay healthy
Thank you.
and let's stay in touch, man.
You too. Yeah.
Awesome,
Thank you.
brother. Cool.